All right, moving on to 6-4. Percents is fractions, fractions is percents, percents is decimals, decimals is percents, fractions is percents. Basically, let's get to the world of percents. Express 60% as a fraction in simplest form. Every percent is over 100. Then you can cross out those zeros on the end and simplify. Now remember, you have more than one way to simplify something. You could do cake, you could do prime factorization, but you should know how to simplify them by now. 104 over 100 and simplified. Okay, for this one, remember, it's not a decimal, it's a percent. So 3/10 over 100 would be a complex fraction. You would need to get rid of that tenths by multiplying it by 10, top and bottom. That way you would only have then 3 over 1,000, okay? So you can't, this is called a complex fraction, so you need to get it out of this format. You're multiplying it by 10 in order to move the decimal one place over. If you do that to the numerator, you absolutely do to the denominator too. Hello. 5.25%, that's a benchmark fraction. I wonder if you remember what it is. So again, complex fraction. I wouldn't do it this way. So hopefully you just remember what the fraction is as a benchmark. Okay, so if this is what it is right here, I took it out of the fraction into that, I would multiply top and bottom by 100 this time to get 5,625 over 10,000. If you knew your benchmark fractions, then you wouldn't have to go through all the process of simplifying this. Oops, sorry, kind of went past it. And there you go. 35%, 35 over 100 simplifies to be 7/20. 160 over 100 simplifies to be 1 3/5. And of course it would, because it's greater than 100, so it would be a mixed number. 8/10 over 100, multiply top and bottom by 10, so 80 over 1,000. Cross out that end 0 and simplify 8 over 100. And then 32.5, it'd be 13/40. Now you're going to write that as a percent. Well, I said you're going to have a calculator the whole time. So if you want to write this as a percent, there's more than one way to do it. But if I'm giving you a calculator, you might as well just use this. 19 divided by 20 times 100, 95%. Or you can convert it to 100 and then do it. 8 divided by 5, it's improper, so I know it's going to be greater than 100 times 100, 160%. Same thing, same thing. 60% as a decimal, so change it to a fraction first. 60 over 100. Cross that out. It just is 6/10. Or better yet, if I want to go from P to D, you're simply going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. So if it's 60%, and there's no decimal that you see, the decimal's in the back, go 2 places this way. There you go. Or take this number and divide it by 100. And you'll get 6/10. Okay? So whatever way is easiest for you. 2%, so remember it's going to be 2 over 100, and you can divide and do it that way because you have a calculator. Or know that the decimal is after the 2. So to go from a percent to a decimal, you go 2 places to the left. And there you go. 2 places to the left, 6 58/100. 2 places to the left, before thousandths. 2 places to the left, 84/100. 2 places to the left, 700. 2 places to the left, 3 and 2/100ths, 2 places to the left, 9/1000ths. Take this as a percent. So if I'm going from D to P, that's the right way to go in the alphabet. So this time you're going to move to the right 2 places. So here it is, move it 2 places to the right, 40%. If you can read it, you can write it too. Move it 2 places, 5%. 2 places, 8/100ths of a percent. 730%. 84%, 1%, 0.4%, 239%. So again, just moving it 2 places to the right or multiplying it by 100. So when you go D to P, you multiply by 100 or go right 2. When you go from a percent to a decimal, so this is from D to P. If you're going from P percent to D decimal, you're going to do the reverse. You're going to divide by 100 or you're going to go left 2. Okay? Express 5/8 as a percent. You have a calculator. It's also a benchmark fraction. Just take it to a decimal. Multiply it by 100. There you go. 1/3, 33 1/3%. 9 divided by 1,000, 9/10%. You can round it to round to the nearest tenth. So 3/8, 3 divided by 8 times 100, 5 divided by 12 times 100, 13 divided by 1,000 times 100, 21 divided by 17 times 100. He says that 25% of his customers buy only bread and 2/5 of his customers buy only cookies. Which group is larger? Well, what is 2/5 as a percentage? So do 2 divided by 5 times 100 and you would get 40%. So I would say the group that buys only cookies. 3/8 benchmark fraction. 3 divided by 8 times 100 compared to 42%. And you'll find that the vocal music group is larger. And that's it for 6-4, changing things to percents.